Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have a very, very, very good guest today that I prompted to come over, and he came in town and he made time for me to come by and talk, and I think you're going to love this guy. His name is Chef Andre Rush. He's also a huge bodybuilder, as you can see, but he's also a chef at the White House, which, how do you get that job? You go through like Craigslist and maybe find it or whatever. We're going to find out the whole story. Anyway, I'm so glad you made time for me.
No, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I love the blue shirt. Oh, it's red. I'm sorry. And you're not too big.
No.
What do you weigh?
I actually lost about 28 pounds, so I'm right at 270 right now.
That's a lot of weight.
No, I'm slim. I'm a slim 270.
You look good, though.
Thank you. You look better.
Very handsome.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with a couple things here. How old when you first started training?
I started training honestly, when I was born, my dad put me out and put me to work, literally, when I could crawl.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad did hard construction for 50 years. And the boys, he made sure they had ample time to go to work. And I was very athletic when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So I left 315 when I was like 13 years old.
Oh my God.
That was unbeknownst to me. I had no idea. It was just from one of my gym guys because they knew I was incredibly strong.
Right.
Stronger than other kids. And
right.
I was very fast. I didn't get into actually training until probably like I was 17, 18, like on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. But then I went into the military and it was just consistent because I was kind of like put into a leadership role where people loved what I did as a trainer. Mm-hmm. You know, the look, attitude, all came together, leadership. And I trained hundreds and thousands of people since then.
What part of the military?
Army.
I did too.
Oh, did you?
And this is a funny story. I just dug up all my old discharges and all that, and all my awards. I got a lot of awards. I never thought, because I was a musician and I was in the Army, that I even wanted to be in the Army. So they decided to put me to NCO Academy to make me a leader. Okay. And then they wanted to send me to West Point.
West Point.
And I said no.
Okay.
I'm not structured like that.
Okay.
I'm an easygoing entertainment kind of guy. I play guitar in a band. I think I want to go into wrestling, and all those things will not work with West Point. They're not going to allow me to.
That's true.
So I picked the field that I wanted, but it was an honor that I was even asked, to be able to do something like that. Did you compete in bodybuilding?
I have never competed in bodybuilding.
Did you ever have any desire to?
I knew a lot of guys that competed in bodybuilding. A lot, actually. I didn't realize how many did when I was younger, growing up through the military, Mr. DC, being in the DMV. Yeah. And then I just came back from Mr. Olympia. That got me hyped up, actually.
Oh, because that's inspiring.
Yeah, it is extremely inspiring. It was very humbling to see all those guys, the dedication, the men, the women.
Oh my God, yes.
That is over extraordinary. I was humbled, and then of course with me conversing back and forth with Arnold, which is a huge idol of mine.
He's a fun guy.
He's very supportive of the military and your causes and everything else that goes along with it. Yeah. So I'm hyped. So actually it's funny because this year I decided, because I've never in my entire life worked out consecutively because of my jobs and obligations, working 100 hours a week. But this now, after the first of the month, I am going to inspire, until I go to the Honor Classic, which I'll go to. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do my best all the way through and challenge everybody else to do the same thing.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Arnold, when I trained with him back in the day, he was just one of the guys. He was a fun guy. I can tell you stories that no one's ever heard. Crazy stuff. But he's cool. He's good. And every time I've seen him, he's always been really nice about everything. And he doesn't forget his friends. That's one thing I'll say about him. So, but you train like a bodybuilder. I mean, you separate your body parts.
I do. I lift heavy weights. Okay. I do them for more reps. Mm-hmm. People say, why do you do heavy weights, or how do you do heavy weights? Like I was doing it 225 for only 50 reps. It was 50 reps times 4. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing because I was used to it. Sure. Even when I benched to 700, it wasn't a big thing to me because I just benched it. Right. I'm quite sure it's people all around the world that can do extraordinary things that nobody is just not focused on, or doesn't have a TV or a radio.
They're not aware of it.
Exactly. And I wasn't aware of anything that I was doing. So when I talked about things, it was just arbitrary. Yeah. And then people say, well, wait a second, the cowbine, they only do X amount. I'm like, what? It doesn't affect me or whatnot. So it's just kind of funny how it happens that way.
When you separate your body parts, for example, how do you do this per week? Do you do 2 a day, 1 a day?
I do 2 a day.
Okay.
I do 2 a day. I do 2 a day because I don't know when the next time I'm going to get into the gym.
Okay.
I do my 2,222 push-ups every day, except for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'll work out one day, and then the next time I may get a chance to work out again, maybe 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah. 2,222 push-ups?
Yes.
You ever do 223?
Actually, I've done more than 2,223.
Why would you want to do 2,222 push-ups, and why that number?
So it's significant. Military. It's for 22 a day. 22 a day is 22 military veterans commit suicide a day. So I caveat with 2,222, not only for the military, but all the homeless, the helpless, everybody in this entire world. It's a small number. Suicide is actually a 10th number for death, and 800,000 a year. So
oh my God.
When you say 22 a day, it's not significant, but when you say 800,000 a year, then it's more impactful.
Of course. Now, the funny thing is that 2 is my lucky number.
Oh, okay.
And it's always been my lucky number. My codes on everything I do is I'm not going to tell you how many 2s, but they're 2s. And I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I know what time it is, and I look at the clock, and sure enough, it's 2:22.
Really?
Without fail, every night. If I walk into the house, and it's just after lunch, and I walk in, I look at the clock, it's 2:22. And I don't know why it is, but it just always falls that way. My eye just goes right to it, and that's the number it is.
Isn't the Mega Millions like 500 and some million now? I think. I know. I'm telling you. I think 2 is gonna be a lucky number.
I'll tell you, it's definitely weird.
Nobody better
works.
go out and play that 2. If not, they better share.
That's how that works. All right. So if you do 2 body parts a day, would it be chest and back together?
It'll be. I'll do compounds, of course, and I'll mix it up. I kind of do on a cycle of. To confuse my muscle, that muscle confusion with muscle memory and whatnot.
I'm confused every day. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll do a chest and back, or I'll do arms. Both arms. Do all 3 of the tries, 2 of the bis, and I just do it so intensely and just so impactfully that I want to hurt each and every time.
So you pick whatever you feel like doing that day. It's kind of like.
But I also do the 72-hour rule as well.
Yeah.
72-hour rule is when I can go back to that same muscle.
Got you. I understand that.
Yeah.
Understand that. When you do bis and tries, do you superset them together or do them separately?
I do them separatly.
You ever supersetted them together?
I have.
Works good if you can find the machine that no one's using.
Yeah, exactly. That was a caveat to it.
Yeah.
And then you got the etiquettes in the gym where people don't understand or know how.
I'm using that. Do you mind? But it does make a big difference. And we used to do this years ago because we worked together. One would be here, one would be there, and we just switched back and forth. We also supersetted chest and back with benches and chins and inclines and rows, and it always worked really well because they're opposing muscle groups.
Exactly.
And then Arnold had this thing that we would do, and we stop with the dumbbells, and we start with maybe 25 pounds and do the standing. I can't even do it with my shoulders.
Okay, yeah.
All the way down to the 80s and all the way back down to 20s, and then the same thing with laterals, and that was your workout for delts, and the delts just popped out. But it was still every 72 hours.
Yeah. See, I love it.
I asked Albert Beckles because he has such a great bicep. I said, Albert, how often do you work bicep? He goes, doesn't talk a lot. Yeah, well, a little bit every day. And that was his answer. I don't know what he meant by it, but he had a big double peak bicep, but a little bit every day. It just seemed to work for him. And so you don't know when you're going to be able to. And where do you train?
Wherever I can. I'll go in the gym I train in Virginia. Of course, I don't train in DC.
Yeah.
Traffic is terrible.
Yeah.
So I try to be convenient and ambidextrous with where I train. And also, one thing about me is if I have someone that wants to join in and say, hey, chef, I'm here in town. Or, hey, chef, can you help me? I will take my time out to train them. But I tell them, just don't waste my time. I'm not going to waste yours.
Exactly.
So if you come in to train.
Right.
I don't want to talk. I want to work.
Right. Now, what inspired you to become a chef? You had to become a cook first.
Yeah, I was a cook.
Don't tell me it was at Denny's.
No, it was not. It was not. It's funny because I was on a plane for these 6 hours coming here, and I'm writing a book. I'm doing a book that's actually coming out next year.
What's it called? Get to Know Your Spatula?
Well, it's a different type of book, actually.
Okay.
It's a cookbook.
Okay.
It's a cookbook, but it's a biography cookbook.
All right.
So it's going to go over my whole lifespan and why I cook certain meals. For instance, what I was cooking in 9/11 when the plane hit the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Or what happened when I was over in Iraq when, I got blew up, or when it happened when one of my soldiers committed suicide, or what the last meal I taught him to cook.
Yeah.
So it'll be a whole little spiel of it. But to go back to what made me cook was my mother. My mother, I'm from Mississippi, small town, Columbus, Mississippi, country boy, had fields, picked all the food and the vegetables and, dairy farms,
right.
Drink all that. And in Mississippi, that Southern hospitality, it was that socialization of comfort that we all ate together.
Are you near Hattiesburg?
Yeah, of course.
I wrestled there.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Hattiesburg, yeah.
I was down in Pensacola where I wouldn't want to be right at this moment. And so they booked me in Hattiesburg. The promoter called me and says, "Hey, Rick, you're working here tonight. There's a guy that said I went to high school with you in Bakersfield up north." In Hattiesburg? What's he doing there? How did he get stuck there? Where the hell was he going? So, it's a small world. But so then you got into cooking how? What did you actually do? Did you get a job as a cook?
No, I started in something else in the military, and what made me switch over to cooking was it was a hobby. It was a hobby of mine, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Cooking back then with a guy my size and with all my athleticism and the things that I did, it wasn't very desirable, but it was what I liked.
Sure.
It was comfort for me, and I saw how the cooks actually intertwined together. And when I actually came over and switched over, I didn't intertwine so much with them at first because I was a different type of person. I was pretty aggressive. I was introvert, extrovert.
Okay.
Right? I was quiet.
Passive aggressive.
Yes. I was quiet. I was kind of like, I tell everybody I'm an oxymoron. I'm a big guy that's nice as hell that'll hurt you.
Yeah, but you're also a big guy that knocked on my front door like this. I hear this.
I did. It was either one or the other. Light or the bam, bam.
A bird knocking on my door?
Or the extreme.
Okay, go on.
The cooking part, the family cohesion with the other guys in the military, and luckily I used it as an outlet, and someone found me early on and saw me as a young soldier and said, I did something. I'm very artistic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I did something and took me to my first competition, and from there I was a sponge. I just took we have internet back then or all that other good stuff. Right. So I just bought every book I could with all my money, read everything I possibly could, and that took me into a whole nother world of cooking. That was the real cooking, the culinary side of it. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be a cook, and everybody can be a chef, but who cares? As long as you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter.
You have to love what you're doing.
Exactly. So after that, the rest was history. I became a chef. I became a master ice carver. I became a pastry guy. I became a chocolatier. I could do cakes and this and that.
Oh, that's all good stuff.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going over to Belgium just in about 2 weeks to see the King of Belgium. He's giving me an award.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm working with Queen Elizabeth's pastry chef to do a piece of cake, P-E-A-C-E, piece of cake.
I got you.
Yeah, so.
All right, the $1 million question. How did you end up in the White House?
So, that's a good question.
I know.
Because I should never been half of the places I've been. I guess I'm a likable guy.
Yeah, you are.
But honestly, skills. I had skills.
I understand that, but they got to know you exist.
But no, so here's the deal. You can have all the skills in the world, and you can still not get a job.
Of course. We see this all the time.
Of course, you have to have a clearance, and it has to be a clearance. You have to have a squeaky clean background, and then you have to interview, and then you have to marry with the rest of the crew, right? Early on, I had to use this word, but a lot of people were intimidated by me. Not even because of my cooking skills, because I wasn't the best cook back then, but I made you think that I was. And long story short, one of my mentors, who was probably like 15 to 17 years ahead of me in the military, decided to, I did something for him, saved him out of a bunch of things, and he was working over at the White House. And he was the first person to get me to the door to knock on it. I knocked a little harder on that door. So. Went in, and they loved me. I did my job.
So you had an appointment, obviously. You just didn't walk and knock on the door and say, I'm here to cook a meal.
No. Yeah, Many people, you can't go on Craigslist or look in your local, and whatever. But the hardest part about it is even not only getting a job, but it's keeping a job. Mm-hmm. I've seen many people from many of my job positions that was here one day and going tomorrow. Sure. No matter what their skill set is, or knowledge or degrees or whatever.
Yeah, you got to get along with everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Now, how many chefs are there?
Main chefs that's there is only about 4.
Okay, so you're assigned certain things to do.
Yes. So I do the things because I'm a very hyper person, and I don't like my time. I use this and I say this, humbly. I don't like my time being wasted. Right. Meaning that if I'm gonna go to work, I want to work. I want to do something that's fun. Right. Overly.
You don't want to stand around.
I do stuff for special events for POTUS and his family, whether it be a small group of 2 or the state dinners or things like that of the sort. A lot of people don't understand that the White House is kind of like divided, where you have West Wing, and then you have the Eisenhower Building, which is across from the actual White House. It's on the White House premises, but it's not in the White House. So that's why it's actually called the White House. And gotcha. Theirs over there. So
you have obviously a kitchen full of good food.
I do. I eat a lot of it, though.
That's my question.
I eat so much of it. I'm probably glad I'm not around.
Listen, why is our food bill so high? Andre must be working today. So you get plenty of protein you want from beef and all that stuff.
I eat a lot. I do. I try to get in about 10, 15 plus 1,000 a day. I have a high metabolism because of my workout, actually. Right. But I'll eat 4 whole chickens, and I'll do this, I'll do that. Oh. And it's just like it's a snack.
You have the appetite for that?
I do.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of appetite. I used to. As I get older, I eat less. I get that 5 o'clock senior meal and I divide it in half. Take half home. No, I'm kidding. But I don't eat like that. I mean, I used to eat pretty good, but I stayed in great shape around 220. Since this leg thing, I'm still training, but I can't do what I want to do. And it's upsetting me. And as soon as it's well, I'm going back into full training again.
Oh, that's awesome. You look great.
I'm okay, but I'm not where I was when I was 20.
No, trust me, you look great.
No, I'll get back. This has been a setback a little bit, but I've had them before from wrestling with different injuries and knee replacements and torn quads, and I always bounce back right away. 2 years ago, I was in the hospital for congestive heart failure and pneumonia and almost died. Literally almost died. They go home today, you're dying tomorrow. Okay, I'll stay here another 7 days in the hospital, which I hate, and eat Jell-O, but I lost like 30 pounds. And when I got home, man, people will tell you I was back in the gym with an oxygen machine. Within 2 weeks, I lost that. I'm back training. I gained 15, 20 pounds back heavy training. I never got sick again.
Oh, wow.
Because it's here.
It's true. I agree with that.
Yeah, you've got to think positive, and you've got to move forward, and this is how life works. So how long have you been at the White House now?
I first started there in 97.
Oh, you've been there quite a while.
Yeah, quite a while. But, of course, that's caveat with I was in the military also. Uh-huh. So I wasn't there consecutively all the time. I still had my military career. I started a catering business also. So I was pretty ambidextrous, with my degrees and this and that, and also advocating and helping other soldiers in leadership and so forth. Like you mentioned West Point. I was also at West Point for a number of years.
So you travel quite a bit?
I do travel quite a bit.
Isn't that hard on your training and diet?
No, exactly. That's why I don't get to. That's the only reason why I wouldn't work out. Literally the only reason why I wouldn't. So someone asked me the other day about training, because I talked about training. I love training. Training is part of what saved my life. Along with dietary, you put both of those together, you got a perfect world. But you also have to have that mental state. And when you get that mental state together, which is one of the things I talk about with suicide prevention, you put that mental state together and you put it into your diet, and then you put it into your health regimen. You're going to eat before you work out. I mean, that's automatic. That's something you're going to do every day. Sometimes you can't get the workout, but when you combine both of those together, it's a perfect world.
That's the way it works.
That's 3 for 3. So when I go around, I try to, and that's why I train so hard. Because I never want to be away that long. But I had a conversation with someone on social media who was like, hey, and I think it was actually him addressing Arnold about me, and talking about me. And he was like, is he a chef or is he a bodybuilder, or is he trying to, help the world or something?
They haven't figured it out.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm doing all
the above.
All of the above, right?
Yeah.
I said, and guess what? I'm gonna cook to help somebody save the world and help save a life. I said, and don't ask me, and I was very professional with it, as I always am, because you're gonna have people all around, but you can do all three. You can do whatever you want to do. Nobody has to limit you.
No, and I do this show, and I do go to the gym, and then I have that ring in the backyard where I train people for wrestling. I got 3 girls tomorrow I'm working with. I can't get in the ring, but I got someone coming to help me until this thing heals up. But I like to spread myself around and be able to do all these things and help others.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of times I won't even charge them because they have this passion, they have no money, so I'll work with you. I don't mind. Because it's not all about the money.
No, it's true.
It's all about what you can give and what you give to somebody else, and it always comes back around. They pay it forward to somebody else. The thing with me is you were talking about food and weights and all that, how go together. I can feel down about something, and I put this quote up because you read my quotes.
I do.
I got some good ones.
You got some great ones, actually.
So I said, nothing else matters, and if I can go grab a dumbbell and put it in my hand, it takes me back to my roots in the gym where everything began, and it changes my whole mindset.
It's true.
Just the feeling of the iron and just know where I started from. It can change my whole world.
Yeah.
And if you don't ever do that in your life, no one understands it.
That's true. You're right.
They don't know what it feels like to go to a gym and take a smell of the old school and what it was like and feel the weight. They don't know that them the gym's a gym, is 24-hour fitness, but no, it's not.
No, it's not.
There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, it's memories, it's compassion, it's failures and dreams and life and it's so much more.
And the other thing about it, just like with goals back in the day, I met so many people from around the world that came to visit and made friends worldwide through bodybuilding and wrestling, of course, because it's like a community of brotherhood. We all just get together. And you can travel around, and you know it's for sure, no matter what gym you walk into, you'll meet somebody, and it's a brotherhood. They'll show you where to go to eat, they'll help you do this, they'll help you do that. And when I was wrestling, it was the same thing. Well, let me take you around town. Yeah. And if you just come there as an accountant, it's not going to happen.
And that's the funny part about it is that people, like you just said, people don't understand that, and it's never too late.
No.
That's the one pointed thing that people have to understand. It's never too late.
No.
Like you're talking about, and your passion, everything comes out and exudes, and tell people, get out and go to the gym. That's when I did my challenge for the 2,202 push-ups. I said, I don't care if you did 2 push-ups or if you did this.
Do something.
Do something. And then, for your kids, and be an example, and the kids come to me and so forth. That's the most rewarding feeling in the world.
Right.
To see them stepping up and doing something different, or that they wouldn't normally do. Working out with their dad or their mom, or working out together, or with their siblings. So it's all all circle.
Well, my oldest son lives in Tennessee, and he used to referee some of our matches. But my middle son wrestled with me for about 4 years. Oh. I taught him how to play guitar, and they're both musicians. And now he's setting the world on fire doing music for TV shows and radio and all this stuff. And my daughter, once in a while, will come to the gym with me, but she's not made out for the weights. And she's a photographer and shoots for all the major Billboard and Hollywood Reporter. She's got big posters on Times Square and also on Warner Brothers. Yeah, she's doing incredibly well. Yeah, but it's the talent that ran on the family, and we all kind of shared our talent pool together, because I'm an artist too. And in fact, I want to draw you a picture of the Gold's Gym logo before you go. You can hang on the wall somewhere.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Okay, I'll make it look like you. Anyway, I think that having a talented life and sharing your talents with others and teaching them what you know, and having this show and talking about inspiration and motivation to move forward and be a better person really helps a lot of people. I mean, at my age, most guys have one foot in the grave. They won't even leave the house, and I'm up and running, and someone says, how do you have so much energy? I say, I don't know where it comes from. I just wake up ready to go, and I feel good, and I love the world, and I love the fact I'm alive. And I meet people like you, and it's inspiring. And I feel like I've known you. I've known you just a short time, but I feel like I've known you forever now.
And it's funny, and I have to say this to you, because when I met you, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And when you told me your age, I had no idea that was your age.
You didn't know I'm 95?
Well, if you're 95 now, count me in.
No, I just turned 74 in July, and I'm proud of it. Damn, I'm 74, and I'm still moving forward, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I still go out with 23-year-old girls.
I love it.
Yeah. And my daughter looks at me and says, Daddy, she's younger than I am. So what, daughter? You only live one time.
There you go.
But I'm so happy that you came by and share this moment with me and with others who'll be watching this. I've got 33 million viewers out there who are going to love you. And is there anything in closing that you'd like to say to motivate others?
I always try to motivate others just by being yourself, inspire others.
Yeah.
Be your own motivation.
Yes.
Self-love, of course.
Yes.
Is one of the biggest things around. So I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to come here.
Let me say something about that self-love. It's not a matter of vanity. It's not a matter of being egotistical or conceited, any of that kind of stuff. But if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And if you don't love yourself, nobody can love you.
Exactly.
So you have to take this carcass, which is your instrument that takes you through life until you die, make the best out of it you can, and your mind, which is the best drive, the motor makes it work, and be the best you, and take pride in yourself and be good about it, and show others that, yes, I am good, I am this, I am that, and you can be too if you just listen to what I do and follow my lead. That was pretty well put.
That was actually, yeah. I'm looking to put a paper.
And it came out of nowhere. Thank you, Chef Rush, for being here. This has been a real pleasure. And thank you guys for watching Rick's Corner. And watch this man just move forward in life, and he'll probably be the next president in the White House. And then he'll be hiring me to do the cooking of the bacon.
I like it.
See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Everyone, now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Rick Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, rickdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Rick's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.